Welcome aboard. It's Captain G with turn 4 of Axis and Allies and Zombies. The virus is spread throughout Africa, Persia, neutral Turkey now has it as well. Germans this turn moved their armor force that had pulled out of the Ukraine and down from Karelia into West Russia. So now they have 8 armor units, 4 infantry and 6 artillery poised on the border with Mother Russia. Also in North Africa, Rommel struck out with support from the Luftwaffe to wipe out the British. Subsequent to that, the British have moved in more reinforcements, again draining the reserve in India, keeping this fleet out of reach and transferring all of their air assets to Moscow to add to the defense. The question for the next round that Stalin and Churchill are debating is, do the Russians do another spoiler attack? They've moved infantry and artillery here to stop the Japanese advancement, but now those troops are out of reach. But the armor could hit that, supported by this infantry, the infantry and armor in the south, and the Soviet Air Force. So that spoiler attack could work, but will that leave Russia enough to survive an attack by any German forces? We'll find out next round. In the Pacific, the Japanese cleaned up some zombies in China and are moving their forces down in Southeast Asia. A cautious advance into the Soviet territories, but an aggressive push with their fleet and naval infantry. So from this position, again, next turn, they could hit Hawaii or the western United States. So the U.S. moved their subs for a counterstrike, again, avenging, not defending, and they reinforced the West Coast to force the Japanese to make a decision of one or the other, not having enough strength from a landing perspective, a landing force to try for both. But if they were able to do both, they would win. They only need 2 more victory cities. In the Atlantic, as you may have seen earlier, the U.S. brought up their Brazilian and their East Coast transport forces, deciding to consolidate. They didn't hit both territories to open up the Med. I don't know if this is a house rule or if it's rules in the game, but the way we play for these choke points, you have to have both territories to move through. And if they're in dispute or you only control one of them, then only submarines can go through. So the U.S. did consider hitting both to be able to go into the Med, but I think reality next time is the British hit first and the Americans reinforce to retake France. And this force moves up with 1 transport to put some pressure on Southern Europe or Italy. So the Germans have some pressure. We'll see what happens. Is that enough pressure in time, or is it too little, too late? Time will tell. This is Captain G with the end of round 4. Over and out.